After everybody is listening, including my colleagues there and there, we have entered the last part of this very interesting roundtable discussion. Dr. Majo, please, the leadership, under your leadership, we are now going to conclude. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, on those days in France, Mr. Gilbert should know, is going what is called the Tour de France, a bicycle, and every time all the bicycles go and run faster and faster and faster. When anybody has arrived, there is at the end something that we in Spain we call the red card. I don't know in France they call also the red card. But there is recollecting everything that has been lost during the tour. So on the way, I feel that we are on the right session, some kind of recollection session where we are going to finish and mainly try to identify if something is missing. So that's the main goal of the final session. I will express my personal opinion and my personal pleasure by the fact that I think that the 4 sessions that happened before this one have been so well moderated and so vivid that a lot of opinions and concepts and contributions has appeared, and I suppose that the rapporteurs of each one of the sessions has reported this for the moment recorded. So, on a way, I hope that I'm going to be paid the same salary as the other moderators, but I think that we have only a small part of the work to do because of the I can share my part of salary with all of the four persons yes. Okay, no, really, I came here knowing why the organizers have asked all of us to come. But I came here with some kind of blank mind about what this was going to be and what we should be advising. I should tell that after the whole day in that room, I think that I have clear ideas because of the, I repeat, positive work that has been made during the day. But what is important is not that I have clear ideas. What is important is that organizers accept that they have also clear ideas, and I thought that's the reason, and that's what happens. So I expect that the work that has been made will be very useful both for the roundtable and for the Forty Foundation in order to go ahead with that project. As you see in the program, there are 3 suggested guiding questions for discussion. One is, any important and relevant issue is not dealt sufficiently. The second is, any issues need further in-depth consideration. And the third one, very different, is on the basis of all would the selection committee be able to function both ethically, morally, and be conclusive and beyond all reproach? Does anybody feel in a situation to give an answer to the last one? I'm not in the situation, because nobody can foresee. I think if the work is well done, the answer will be yes. But I think it's impossible to answer that will happen exactly like this. But sure that the project that we are just starting now is a project that will be, even if that is not from the first time, but improving and improving and improving. And that's everything that is human. It's like this. So I mostly concentrate on the two first questions. And I repeat, it's any important and relevant issue not dealt enough. Is any issue that needs in further consideration. And I'm asking those questions, those two questions, to all of you. But I am asking those questions before to the 4 rapporteurs and the 2 organizers, because that's what is important. What is important is to know is the organizers receive enough input from our part to help his work, and see if the rapporteurs have any doubt in order to conclude their report. And that also I want to give the opportunity to those 4 persons for this. So I will start turning up to Mr. Feld, and I don't know if Mr. Joseph or you in behalf of him, say, did the organizers feel themselves satisfied and have enough positive inputs to go ahead with this?
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Could you please indicate, everybody say, well, thank you very much for your input. A very heavy and very serious brain work, what happened here, and we will make our very best to make the following. So, responding on this stage, we are the organizers, looking around the organizers, we are happy, thank you very much. We do not feel that any substantial issue is missing from the discussion. Thank you.
Okay. I thank you and enjoy that. Yeah, because I look at your finger. Okay. Okay, that's important. Then I refer to the rapporteurs. Is any of the rapporteurs willing to clarify some element that has been in the discussion in order to better elaborate the report? Who starts? Mr. Cruz.
I am the rapporteur of the first, this type of session, and at the end I said that I thought that everything is clear and I don't have any problem to write down the conclusion. Honestly speaking, especially in the last session before yours, I had some doubts on that. If you accept that this is the duty of the other rapporteur, then I don't have any problem.
If there is not the case that the other rapporteur asked, I will go back to you. So any other rapporteur would like to?
Well, for the second, well, the third session, actually, I think I could very quickly go through some emerging themes from this. There was some discussion about the name using Tesla, which was generally perceived positively, but caution expressed about potential confusion with other organizations that might carry the name, or whether the name might have unfortunate connotations in some languages. But for those of us who are scientists, we all know what a Tesla is. It's like a watt or a volt, it's a Tesla. So I think that it will be understood. The overall theme would be related to sustainability encompassing economic, social, and environmental dimensions. There would be a niche for this prize that distinguishes it from all others in that it is holistic, transdisciplinary, and integrative, and involving groups, business, government, civil society, and other groups. There was a lot of discussion about balance. The balance between achievement and potential, about individual versus group, about independent versus institutional, about the balancing of risk and reward, in particular about tangible and intangible qualities such as aesthetics, emotional intelligence. And the risk of making the wrong award is acceptable. If you're doing anything innovative, you have to accept risk. Taking into account the material and even more importantly, the social and the spiritual, which, as one speaker put it, is the main support for the development of human society. The idea of balance between seeking a lone maverick inventor, which might be some kind of romantic ideal, but we all know people who fall in that category, or dispersed innovation, for which no key inventor may be readily identifiable. We had the idea that it be something or somebody who has an idea that's transformative, some kind of project or process for improving the prosperity of all humankind, including both current and all future generations, whilst preserving the quality of the environment and all flora and fauna, which satisfies the criteria we discussed above. Having a purpose which encompasses a transformational footprint, not only pertaining to the prize winner, but to framing of the way in which one goes about awarding the prize. A main selection criteria, not to find those who have the right answers, but those who pose the right questions, and by what is best serves humanity in as broad a way as possible. If I can editorialize a bit, the idea of inclusivity can be thought about in the context of maximizing the social benefit, especially to the most disadvantaged groups. Communication. The purpose of the prize needs to be widely and effectively communicated, and the prize winner needs to be an effective communicator themselves, with personal, charismatic, technological, telegenic, and social skills, enough to engage, inspire teamwork, and bring ideas to fruition. The process would have maybe 2 or more tiers: nominations, demonstrations, submission of the nominee about the potential for transformation of their ideas, interviews, lectures, and perhaps the top candidates would be invited for interview and may deliver public lectures. Prestige of this prize would depend on a process based on solid criteria, high-level committee members, and a fair, transparent process, as well as the form the prize takes and the value of that prize. I hope I've gotten the session more or less.
Okay, good, thank you, Josephine. Is there any comment to that intervention? Yeah? No, okay. So, Professor Blue, you are the rapporteur of the...
Okay. So, according to my orders, sorry, thank you. In this session, moderator, honorable is corporate Rokia. And according to the speakers, so the first question, suggested guiding question, which are the most useful skills a committee member should possess? A committee member should be equitable, independent, and flexible, should have enough time and international scientific experience, multiple cultural experience, and strong scientific networks, should have the background or experience in a famous scientific institution, should have good language ability. For example, could use fluently at least 3 kinds of different languages. The second topic, what mechanism should be used for identifying potential committee members? Not only from the other speakers, but also some of my opinion. A Tesla price organization or foundation should be established. At the same time, we need 4 separate basic criteria. One for lower returns, the potential price holder. One for the members of selection committee. The third one for the members of jury. The first one for the qualified individual who can recommend candidates of Tesla lower return. The Tesla price organization or foundation could publish the purpose and the criteria of Tesla price via different ways, including internet. According to criteria of the selection committee members, select the potential jury members internationally and put their names into a Tesla price jury database. Every 10 years, maybe 4 years, around 12, maybe the single number is better, say 30. 30 jury members should be selected according to the before decided criteria by the Tesla Price Foundation, which could be located in Malaysia from the database. Every 10 years, 5 to 7 members of the selection committee should be selected from the above 13 members of jury by the Tesla Price Foundation. The selection committee will be in charge of the selection of the lower return among the submitted candidates recommended by the qualified individuals. Also according to the criteria of the qualified individual who can be recommended. Some speakers also suggest that the people in the conference group could choose the selection committee. That is another opinion. To the third point, what should be the ideal composition, size, etc. of the committee? The committee should be composed internationally. The members could not come from just 1 or 2 countries. The selection committee could be composed by around 5 to 7 members. Single number is better. Just now, someone talked about 6 is a good number. Certainly, some members also suggest that the members should come from some NGO and from different countries and different level of decision makers. The members of the selection committee should have a core of data or tenure for 3 to 4 years. And some speakers emphasize that we choose somebody who has excellent achievement to the human society. We do not want to select a Nobel Prize again or a pure scientific prize. That is a difference between these 2 prizes. So that the member of the selection committee for Tesla prize also needs to be different. Oh, thank you.
Okay, I think that perhaps a too detailed report that will be examined by the foundation, but I thank you because it's very precise on the different opinions that I will need. Is there any comment around? No? Yeah? Please do it. Yeah.
One issue that didn't come up today, directly that I thought probably is worth some brief, at least bringing to the attention of the organizers. In this first year or 2, we talked a lot about getting publicity, using the web, getting organizations involved, et cetera, et cetera. I would suggest thinking about expectations management. Just how excited do you want the world to be in the first year before you actually do your work?
Very excited.
Well, I'm not so sure you want the world to be very excited in case you happen to foul up. So, or you can't make your deadline, or something comes up. So I think it's important to take a moderate road in the first year, let the first winner speak for the excitement, rather than perhaps having a highly intense, aggressive campaign of promising to do something that you might not actually do in the first year. I think another way to make this a concrete recommendation is be sure to pay some money to a risk management consultant to think about how you handle expectations in the beginning.
Thank you, Chris. I must confess that I was waiting for the four moderators because I had personally something that I suppose was missed, and was exactly this. And I note for myself, how can we increase the impact of the price? And that should be before the price. And that's exactly what you, so we can do now, and I will take for the next minutes the four moderator. My idea, and I open this, my idea is that if we are going to try to discover a non-recognized person, the impact in the public opinion will not be the person, because will be probably somebody not known. So the name of the winner of the prize will not be the element that will impact public opinion, because it will be a name that will mean nothing for most of people. So we need to find different elements that could make impact. And on a way, I find two ones. One, if we cannot be based on the person, we should be based on the nature and importance of the price. We need to emphasize that's a price that has never existed, that's a price that is important from a point of view of social elements, and also from the point of view of money. I don't know how it will be, but I think that's a price. And the price itself should be one of the elements that should be used for the impact. And the second one, a little more difficult, but we should try to organize some kind of public and publicity contest. What I mean by this? If the price is a little known, another step is to say that there are 3 selected candidates in the final. Something like the Oscars, you know, about the nomination and the final, and the winner is. So some kind of communication techniques that will increase the knowledge of the situation. Probably I am not an expert in this, but probably I'm sure there are experts. I don't know if here, but the foundations can find this. But we need to prepare the public opinion for the day of the prize, and that will be part of the work. So is this what you were more or less thinking about?
Well, let me say two things. First, a lot of prizes have been started with a lot of money behind them, and they failed. Or they failed to get the attention that the founders wished to have. And, for example, the Takeda Prize in Japan, or the National Academy of Engineering's Draper Prize for engineering. We talked earlier about engineering prizes. It's got more money than the Nobel Prize. It's a big fancy prize nobody knows about it. So there are studies done of what it takes to make a prize work. There is literature on the subject, and as scientists we should pay attention to the literature on the subject of what it takes to make a prize work. But I'm also cautioning against too much advertisement. Too much advertisement too soon can actually be counterproductive. So I would push for 60% excitement, not 100%.
Okay, on that topic of the communication and the, is anybody that would like to make an intervention for that topic? Not for this. The topic of communication.
Thank you very much. Communication, my background is communication, and I don't think so that this is the time now really to talk about communication. It must, the whole project has to have a very strong, clear-cut communication project, sort of line, with 1, 2, 3 messages, why, how, who, I mean, very, but not now, because there are just too many uncertainties at this point. And I think as it will evolve and the foundations will be set up, I don't think so you should make too much fuss in the media, just setting up the foundation. When the foundation will be set up, the committee will be set up, and then application can be sent in. Then it is the time to think about communication. And then there are different phases, obviously, because it is also a question what kind of applications you will get and so on. So I just think at the moment, I totally agree, without communication, it will not work. Without having the most important media coverage behind that will not work. Probably it will be not a negative media coverage, because that can make it also visible. I'm just telling you that at UNESCO we have a very, very difficult case. Of course, this is a very negative issue, because there's the Obiang Prize for lifelong sciences, Obiang UNESCO Prize, and this is a huge political issue. So what I'm saying is that if this is clear, if we know who is applying, if we know who sits in the committee, not before, just at that point, put together, and it must be made professionally. I mean, obviously you need a professional communication plan by a communication company or PR company. I think just too early to talk about it.
Thank you, Margaret.
So you then you play the child in the emperor's new clothes. I don't know how high the price is. Has anybody got an idea? But Howard, can you tell us what the price will be? What is the intention?
As it